All right. Welcome to today's session, 27th of March, the pre-market prep, right? Brought to you by Trade Better Than Yesterday. So during this session, we focus on indices, right? So as S&P 500, right? Crypto, as well as options and stocks where necessary, where possible, right? Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and okay, hold on. Let me just make sure that I choose the right window. Yep. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna start with the pre-session check. So I had about 7-8 hours of rest. Mentally, I feel like 4. Okay, so I'm kind of ready. All right. So yeah. So on the 25th March, which I did a review already. The main lesson that I had from there was actually to kind of be more patient on the. By be more patient, I mean like waiting for the actual kind of trigger rather than something that's a bit more premature. Uh, because combined with like a bad mental state and so on, it can make a session like bad, you know. So that's something that I focus on for that session. Okay, and today I'm going to just start the prep now and look at the various markets. All right, so over here is recording, and then I'm going to go and bring it to the my trading view. All right, so let's start from Bitcoin, right? So I think we look at so Bitcoin definitely moved a little bit since the last time we analyzed it. Right now it's below the key yearly high, which I think it's pretty interesting, right? So it's closed below it yesterday, and then today is making another kind of like impulsive move downwards. So the way I see this is that we had a little bit of like a look above this level, right? So look above here, and then now it's kind of like showing pretty bearish structure on 4 hour as well as daily and 1 hour, right? So I think a key invalidation point here will be, again, I think this zone here, right? So I think the 69461 zone will be the key invalidation point, right? So this is like the invalidation point and level. Right? Anything below here, I think is extremely bearish, and the kind of there's a few things that are coming in here, right? I think first is like Google says it's getting close, quantum breakthrough will be closer. We have a Bhutan selling Bitcoin. We have a major miner that's selling Bitcoin, right? ARK Invest cutting holdings in their own Bitcoin fund. So there's a bunch of things here that are coming together that is, I would say, pretty bearish for Bitcoin. There's some headwinds coming in here, which honestly like, and then there's the whole which honestly didn't appear until like a few days ago, like yesterday, you know. So I think this is pretty bearish. So price has already fallen quite a bit here today. I'm not so sure how we can find an entry. Potentially, I think we wait for the 200 EMA to kind of like come down here a little bit, right? So potentially like this thing can come down here a little bit, right? And then potentially we see like if it's not too late into the day, like maybe some kind of like return to value and then drop down, something like that could be a potential entry, I would say. But otherwise I feel like this is essentially, I think it's time to just like wait for a move rather than trying too hard to short it here. Yeah. So I'm definitely like leaning bearish, and I think if a setup happens like something like return to value and coming down, that is a good setup, right? But otherwise, I'm not going to force anything on Bitcoin. I think Ethereum is definitely more interesting. If you recall, we talked about the key level last time. It really broke below there, and then that was when the drop kind of started, right? So Ethereum does have that stronger catalyst going forward, which is the fact that the circle, right, had like a huge drop recently. If you recall, basically they did like there's like a 20% drop in Circle stock because of the fact that there was a like update on the congressional the political stance towards stablecoins and stablecoin yields, right? So basically, stablecoin yields may not be allowed in for stablecoins, right? So that creates a very bearish undertone for Ethereum, at least on the surface level, because one of the main theses for Ethereum was that it will become like this supercomputer or like the world computer that kind of underpins all this like tokenization, right? So if the main thing, if the stablecoins are not going to I mean, the main kind of tokenization, which is like stablecoins, they're not going to live on Ethereum. I mean, people are not going to use it, right? Then Ethereum will lose a large part of its revenue. So that's a pretty bearish outlook, at least on the surface level. So yeah, so I think Ethereum again. I'm already in a short on Ethereum, around from the like 2160 level, still holding to it. I think it's definitely looking a lot more bearish than Bitcoin, in terms of the whole structure of it, right? Like it's below the 200 EMA on the weekly, on the daily. If you look at the weekly chart, it looks horrible here, right? It's screaming for a lower, potentially a new low. So the way I'm approaching it is like, I think the key levels here will be the previous days, like the most recent day's high. I think that will be like a key level to watch, right? As long as price, you can kind of like I can kind of like trail my stops along there, right? As long as price keeps going lower after every full bar, and doesn't go above the high, it's kind of maintaining the bearish undertones in this in Ethereum, right? So I'm not really looking to add today, but it depends. I mean, if let's say same as Bitcoin, if it returns to value and it forms a nice setup, I may look to add to the trade, right? But otherwise, I'm happy to hold my size, which is a full size actually, all the way down to the new monthly lows at 1736, where I will probably take some profit, and if not all profits there. Yeah. So that's where I'm kind of at with Ethereum. And yeah, I think there's a lot of bearish catalyst that is coming in for crypto all of a sudden, right? That kind of aligns well with the price action as well. So definitely there's a lot of opportunities here for trading. Okay, take a look at gold quickly. Okay, gold is looking like it's trying to form some kind of support here. It's pretty interesting. So gold definitely benefits most from this whole quantum talk, right? I mean, yeah. Well, I will not be so interested in gold yet because it's still not really like breaking structure, the bearish structure. So potentially what I can be looking for is like if price makes another double bottom here, like a double bottom here could be interesting. Like if it tests this level again and then it kind of holds and breaks above, that could be an interesting setup for gold. But otherwise, I'm not like super keen on it now, given the fact that the 4 hour is not really screaming bullish. And I want to see a double bottom for like the classic setup. That is like, I would say it's like the best setup. I really like Zcash, but the problem with Zcash is always like, yeah, I mean, it's just if the entire crypto market is weak, it's hard for Zcash to pump on its own. I mean, it's definitely possible, but it's just not. I would say it's like just hard, right? Yeah. Mm, but I really like it in the sense that like there's a lot of narrative going for it. So right now, it's kind of failing to make a low on the 4 hour, so there's a little bit of clues there. Little bit of clues here for the 4 hour demand. And then on the 1 hour, I would say if he can start trading above the like this major high, if he starts trading above here, I will be interested. I think I'll be interested if he starts trading above here, you know. So add an alert there. So yeah, if earlier on in the session we see a consolidation here and then like a breakout, that could be a good long to take. But again, it's like if Bitcoin is weak, it's gonna be difficult to kind of sustain any rally on Zcash. So I would say this is like a tier 2 to tier 3, maybe a tier 3, like a just a 1R setup. Yeah. And then finally, I would say take a look at Jupe. It's coming into the maybe a fresh lows here. Okay, I'm not super interested in this chart right now, so nope. And then let's take a look at US 500. Yeah, so I think US 500 is definitely pretty interesting. I would say it's definitely screaming bearish right now. I mean, it's just everything about it looks weak, right? I mean, just yeah. But okay, hold on. Let me take a short pause here because the audio recordings are like 10-minute clips each. So I've hit my 10-minute clip limit. So now I'm just going ahead to get the ideas out first for this clip. So yeah, I think it's a pretty interesting day. I would say the like on the long side, I mean Zcash looks like the one that has good potential on the long side. And then yeah, so we can see that some of the ideas here have been written down, right? Bitcoin short, ETH short, gold long, and Zcash long. Okay, let's add another clip here. All right, so if we go to back to the trading view, yeah. So if we look at US 500, right, I would say that it's like all the structure is pointing to a small downside. Yeah, I mean just, and it also rejected the daily 200 EMA, which I think is a huge bearish thing. Overall, I'm thinking like this is the level where like the panic will rise, but so I'm like not very. In fact, if you look at the weekly chart, it did test the trend line here, which is interesting. So yeah, maybe I could have kind of shorted on this test, but I mean, I from the 1 hour, it didn't seem like it was like this test here. Like on the 1 hour, it didn't seem like it was hitting the trend line, so I didn't touch it. But on certain time frames, if you look closely, it's actually pretty bearish. So yeah, I think I'm not going to take on a huge size for this session for US 500. Again, I think we look for scalps to the downside. As long as he holds below the session VWAP, I think we can safely scalp to the downside. So same plan as Wednesday, and same sizing as well. Yeah, nothing really too crazy about US 500 here, I think. Yeah. All right, so that's pretty much concludes the that pretty much concludes the chart work. And then now we can take a look at the invalidation things. So I would say for Ethereum it will be, yeah, these are the five ideas. And I would say for Ethereum the invalidation will be the first invalidation will be above 2042. Right, short term invalidation is 2042 for the short, for shorts. Right, so this is for ETH. And then for Zcash, the kind of short term invalidation will be just staying below 220.5 all longs. Right, so if it stays below that key level we talked about, it's going to be invalidated. So I'm not going to be looking to long it. And then for SP500 will be below the anchored or session VWAP, basically. Above. If it goes above, then it's invalidated for shorts. Yep. So that is pretty much it. And then I think I want to put in some rules. All right, and let's begin our centering. All right. Okay. And then here are some of the things that kind of break flags, right? Yeah. So yeah, that kind of concludes the review. The pre-market prep for Wednesday. For Friday, 27 March. I'm going to go ahead and also ask Cloud to do a bit of trading prep for me. But yeah, I think let's end the stream here. And I'll see you guys on Monday, right? Hopefully it was somewhat helpful, right? And thanks for watching. If you like what you're seeing, you can check out Trade BTY, Trade Better Than Yesterday, tradebty.com. You'll be able to use the same tools that I'm using for pretty much. You can try them for free, right? For a start. Yeah, and if that's all, hope everyone have a good trading session, and we will see you next time. Take care.